December 2025. The United States national debt just crossed $36 trillion. That's $36 trillion. With a T, politicians in Washington are deadlocked. Infrastructure is crumbling. Bridges are collapsing. Schools are struggling. And for the first time in generations, Americans are genuinely asking, are we watching the end of American dominance? China's economy is massive and growing. Europe is unified and wealthy. India has over 1 billion people. The Middle East controls the oil. Russia has nuclear weapons and vast resources. Meanwhile, America seems to be tearing itself apart from the inside. So here's the question everyone's asking. Is this the beginning of the end? But I want you to consider a different question. A more interesting question. How did America get here in the first place? Because if you rewind just 250 years, the idea that these 13 colonies on the edge of a mostly unexplored continent would become the richest, most powerful nation in human history would have seemed absolutely insane. Let me paint you a picture. It's 1776. The year America declares independence. The British Empire controls 1/4 of the world's population. The Royal Navy rules the seas. London is the financial capital of the world. Britain has been accumulating wealth and power for centuries. Spain holds massive territories in the Americas and has been extracting gold and silver for 300 years. France is a continental powerhouse with a population of 28 million, more than 10 times the American colonies. The Ottoman Empire spans 3 continents. And China's economy in 1776 is larger than all of Europe combined. The Qing dynasty rules over 300 million people. Chinese civilization has been wealthy and advanced for thousands of years. Now look at America. Barely 2.5 million people scattered along the Atlantic coast. That's less than the population of modern-day Chicago. No great cities. No significant industry. No accumulated wealth. Just farmers, merchants, and craftsmen trying to survive on the frontier. If you were a betting person in 1776, putting your money on America becoming the world's richest country would be like betting on a lemonade stand to become And yet, fast forward to 1945, just 169 years later, Europe is in ruins. Germany is divided and destroyed. France is recovering from occupation. Britain is bankrupt from the war effort. The Soviet Union has lost 27 million people. Japan's cities are ash. China is in the middle of a devastating civil war. And America is producing more than half of the world's manufactured goods. 50%. American factories are humming. American farms are feeding Europe. The dollar is about to become the world's reserve currency. American troops are stationed on every continent. The transformation is so complete, so total, that it doesn't seem possible. Now, come today. The United States has 4% of the world's population. 4%. 1 in every 25 people on Earth is American. But America produces 25% of global heat. 1 in every $4 of economic output on this planet comes from the United States. The top 5 American companies, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Nvidia, are worth more than the entire stock markets of most countries. 60% of global currency reserves are held in dollars. When countries trade with each other, even when America isn't involved, they often use dollars. American universities train the world's elites. American tech companies control the internet. American entertainment shapes global culture. American military spending exceeds the next 10 countries combined. This isn't just success. This is dominance on a scale that makes the Roman Empire look modest. So back to our original question. How does a country with no hereditary wealth, no ancient empire to build upon, no head start in industrialization, and no massive population, how does that country not just succeed, but become the richest nation in human history? The answer isn't what most people think. It's not American exceptionalism in the sense that Americans are somehow inherently better. That's nonsense. People everywhere have the same potential. It's not primarily about democracy. Dozens of countries have democratic systems without becoming superpowers. It's not even mainly about freedom in the abstract. Freedom matters, but lots of free countries never achieved what America did. The real answer is a specific combination of geography, timing, institutions, and culture that came together in a way that had never happened before and hasn't been successfully replicated since. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Start with geography, because everything else builds on this foundation. Pull up a map of the United States. Really, look at it. To the east, the Atlantic Ocean. 3,000 miles of water separating America from European conflicts. To the west, the Pacific Ocean. 6,000 miles protecting America from Asian entanglements. To the Canada, a peaceful neighbor that poses essentially zero military threat. To the south, Mexico, significant, but never a serious military challenge after the 1840s. Now compare this to literally any other major power in history. Rome had to defend frontiers on all sides. Constant invasions, endless wars. China faced nomadic invasions from the north for thousands of years. The Great Wall exists for a reason. European powers spent centuries slaughtering each other. France and Germany fought 3 major wars in 70 years. Britain and France were enemies for hundreds of years. Russia has been invaded repeatedly by Napoleon, by Hitler, by countless others. The Middle East has been a battleground for millennia. But America sat protected by 2 massive oceans. No serious threat of land invasion. Ever. Do you understand how revolutionary this is? While European powers were draining their treasuries on endless wars, building massive armies, constructing fortress cities, and spending everything on just surviving, America could invest in growth. While Asian empires were fighting each other and dealing with colonial invasions, America was developing infrastructure. While Africa and Latin America were being carved up by colonial powers, America was expanding westward into open territory. The defense burden was minimal. No need for a massive standing army until World War II. No constant threat requiring expensive defensive infrastructure. This wasn't just a military advantage, it was an economic superpower. Money that other countries poured into survival, America poured into railroads, factories, universities, and cities. But geography gave America something even more valuable than protection. Resources on an almost incomprehensible scale. The Midwest has some of the best agricultural land on Earth. Not good land, the best. Deep topsoil, perfect climate, natural irrigation from rivers. Massive coal deposits in Appalachia fueled the Industrial Revolution. Oil fields in Texas, Oklahoma, and later Alaska. Iron, ore in Minnesota. Copper in Montana and Arizona. Gold and silver in California and Nevada. Timber in the Pacific Northwest. Forests so vast, they seemed infinite. And connecting all of this, navigable rivers. The Mississippi River system alone drains 40% of the continental United States. Goods could be moved cheaply from the interior to the coasts without building expensive canal systems. When European powers were fighting over tiny scraps of colonial territory halfway around the world, America had an entire continent of resources right there, not in distant colonies requiring military occupation and expensive administration. Right there, connected, accessible. But here's the thing. Lots of countries have resources. Russia has vast territories and massive resource wealth. Brazil has incredible natural resources. Africa is possibly the most resource-rich continent on Earth. The Democratic Republic of Congo alone has more mineral wealth than almost anywhere else on the planet. So why aren't they the richest countries in the world? Because resources alone mean nothing. If resources created wealth automatically, the Congo would be paradise in Japan, which has almost no natural resources. We'll be poor. Resources are just potential. What matters is what you do with them. And what America did with its resources was different from anything anyone had tried before. America built a system. Think about what it takes to turn resources into wealth. You need workers, right? But not just any workers. You need skilled, motivated, hardworking people. America solved this problem in the most brilliant way possible. Immigration. And I don't just mean immigration in general. I mean, America became the world's first large-scale meritocratic immigration nation. Every other major country throughout history was essentially ethnically homogeneous. To be French meant being ethnically French. To be Japanese meant Japanese ancestry. To be Chinese, Persian, Russian identity was blood and soil. America was different. America said, "We don't care where you're from. We don't care about your last name or your parents' status. Come here, work hard, follow the rules, and you can become American." This wasn't altruism. This was ruthlessly effective economic policy. Think about the selection bias this creates. If you were comfortable in your village in Italy, you stayed in Italy. If your life in Ireland was decent, you stayed in Ireland. If you had good prospects in Germany, you stayed in Germany. The people who came to America were different. They were desperate enough, brave enough, or ambitious enough to leave everything behind and cross an ocean to an unknown land. America didn't just get immigrants. America got the boldest, the hungriest, the most risk-taking people from everywhere on Earth. And then, and this is the critical part, America let them succeed. Andrew Carnegie arrived as a poor Scottish immigrant and became one of the richest men in American history. His steel empire built American railroads and skyscrapers. Levi Strauss was a German immigrant who invented blue jeans. Alexander Graham Bell was born in Scotland and invented the telephone in America. Nikola Tesla came from Serbia and pioneered alternating current electricity. Albert Einstein fled Nazi Germany and helped develop the atomic bomb in America. Fast forward to today. Sergey Brin, co-founder of Google, is an immigrant from Russia. Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, came from South Africa. Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, is from India. Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google, is also from India. Do you see the pattern? America created a global talent draft where it got first pick every single round. Forever. The smartest Russian mathematicians, they emigrate to America. The best Chinese engineers, American universities recruit them, and American companies hire them. The most talented Indian programmers, Silicon Valley. America didn't have to develop all this talent domestically. It imported Italiano, and because the system worked, because property rights were secure and opportunity was real, these talented people stayed and built their empires in America rather than returning home. No other country has this advantage at scale. Canada has immigration but a small population. Europe has strict immigration policies and struggles with integration. Japan barely has immigration at all. China and India have populations that want to leave, not arrive. This created a self-reinforcing cycle. The best people want to be where other best people are. Once America established itself as the place where talent goes, it became even more attractive to talented people. But immigration alone doesn't explain it. Plenty of countries have had immigration without becoming superpowers. The difference was what immigrants found when they arrived. A system that actually rewarded hard work and innovation. At the core of this system was something that sounds boring but is actually revolutionary. Property rights and the rule of law. Let me explain why this matters so much. Imagine you start a business. You work for years, building it. It becomes successful. Then one day a government official shows up and says, "I'm taking half." Or, "This business now belongs to my cousin." Or, "You said something I don't like, so I'm shutting you down." In most of the world, this isn't a hypothetical, it's reality. In China, the Communist Party can shut down any business for any reason. Jack Ma, the richest man in China and founder of Alibaba, criticized government financial policy in 2020. He disappeared from public view for months. His companies were suddenly under regulatory scrutiny. His initial public offering, which would have been the largest in history, was cancelled. The message to every Chinese entrepreneur was clear. Your wealth exists at the pleasure of the party. Get too big, too independent, or say the wrong thing, and we'll destroy you. In Russia, oligarchs who displease Putin find their assets mysteriously seized. Mikhail Khodorkovsky was once the richest man in Russia. He challenged Putin politically. He spent 10 years in prison and lost his entire fortune. In much of Africa and Latin America, starting a business means navigating a maze of corrupt officials, each demanding bribes. Your success depends less on the quality of your product than on your political connections and your willingness to pay off the right people. America had corruption too, still does, but the fundamental framework was different. The Constitution limited government power. Courts could overrule officials. Property rights were protected. Contracts were enforceable. If someone violated your rights, you could sue them, even if they were powerful, and win. This created something that seems simple but is actually magical. You could plan for the future. If you're an entrepreneur in a country where the government might seize your business tomorrow, you don't invest in long-term growth. You extract profit as quickly as possible and hide it somewhere safe overseas. But if you know your business is secure, if you know contracts will be enforced, if you know you can keep the rewards of your success, you invest. You innovate. You build for the long term. This is why America developed the most sophisticated capital markets in history. In most countries, if you have a business idea, you have two options. Borrow from a bank, which requires collateral you probably don't have, or convince your family to invest, if they're wealthy, which they probably aren't. Your brilliant idea dies because you can't fund it. America invented a completely different system. Venture capital. Venture capital is based on a simple but radical idea. Rich investors actively look for risky, unproven ideas to fund. They know that 9 out of 10 investments will fail completely. They're fine with that, because the one success will return enough profit to cover all the losses and more. This seems insane to most of the world. In Germany, business failure is shameful. In Japan, it's disgraceful. In most cultures, if you start a business and it fails, you're marked for life. Banks won't lend to you. Investors won't trust you. Your reputation is destroyed. In America, failure is educational. Failed. Once. 3. Again. Fail twice. Fail twice. Investors might actually like you more because now you've learned what doesn't work. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing a practical light bulb. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Henry Ford's first 2 car companies went bankrupt before he founded Ford Motor Company. Walt Disney's first animation studio went bankrupt. Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the company he founded, before returning and making it the most valuable company in the world. This cultural acceptance of failure, combined with available capital, created an experimentation machine. Try things, fail fast, learn, try again. Eventually, something works, and when it works spectacularly. This is why Silicon Valley exists. Google started as a research project by 2 graduate students. Amazon began in Jeff Bezos's garage. Facebook was created in a Harvard dorm room. Apple started with Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak building computers by hand. None of these companies could have started in most other countries because the capital wouldn't have been available. The regulatory barriers would have been too high, or the cultural acceptance of risk wouldn't have existed. And once these companies succeeded, they created a network effect that's almost impossible to replicate. When Google became successful, talented engineers wanted to work there. When Facebook went public, ambitious entrepreneurs wanted to build the next Facebook. When venture capitalists made fortunes from these companies, more money poured into the system. Success breeds success. The best and brightest want to be where other best people are. This creates clusters of talent that become self-reinforcing. Try to start a tech company today. Where do you go? Silicon Valley. Not because there's something in the water, but because that's where the engineers are, where the investors are, where the other startups are, where the people who've done it before can mentor you. Try to work in finance. Where do you go? New York. Because that's where Wall Street is. Where the banks are, where the deals happen. This network effect is why China has failed to create its own Silicon Valley, despite pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into the attempt. You can't mandate networks into existence. They emerge organically when the right conditions exist. But we still haven't answered the full question. Why so fast? Because America didn't just become rich. It became rich faster than any other nation in history. The answer is timing. America hit specific historical moments perfectly. The Industrial Revolution began in Britain in the late 1700s. Steam engines, mechanized production, factories replacing craftsmen. America didn't invent it, but America adopted it faster and more completely than anyone else. Why? Because America had no entrenched interests to protect. Britain had guilds that fought to protect traditional methods. It had an aristocracy that owned the old system. It had a rigid class structure that limited who could become an entrepreneur. America had none of that. No guilds, no aristocracy, no rigid class system saying that the son of a blacksmith had to be a blacksmith. When factories became more efficient than craftsmen, America switched immediately. When railroads became better than canals, America built railroads. When new methods proved superior, America adopted them without sentiment. This happened again and again. History isn't boring. Subscribe for the untold story of American power.